you and I kind of like talked a bit about feeling the terror and the anxiety and the just like disorientation of the current moment, and how it feels loaded in this way that's almost, there's so many different factors to it at this point that you can't even quantify them all, even if you try, and it will make you nuts to try, you know, and yet you take that feeling of being alienated in that way, and that gives you the kernel to be able to see and speak upon it, because I think a lot of people just put their heads down and try to barrel through it. And there's dangers in that, but there's also like great value to be like, it is itself a way to get through. How did this process of writing this record come out of this feeling of terror, and how were you able to get yourself to write in this way that is not only embodying of the current moment, but trying to press through it?
The most genuine thing that I could do before we even started writing the music to this record in my writing was just to try to take just snapshots, like Polaroids of the world as I experienced it, in my personal life and relationships and friendships, and also obviously like politics. Impressions of all of these things that informed this sense of like existential fear, and just like lay them out in a way that makes sense for me, and present them to people, anybody who's interested, in a way that they can make it make sense for themselves. And I think that was the most organic and sincere way that it could come out.
It's like there's not a monster in the box, and there's not an answer at the end of the tunnel that says, here's how to see more clearly. It's just saying, well, first of all, look again and find some kind of sanity. Even if it's not real, it's yours rather than someone else's or some corporation's or some thing that in the end really makes you defeat yourself rather than go anywhere. I feel like so many people just like could be in a theater of one, a room without doors or a room without windows, and just live forever. I almost feel like the end point of civilization as it's directed now is not apocalypse. So I think when I was younger, I was writing apocalypse where it was like ash and fire and burning and hellfire. And now I feel like everyone's just gonna end up in their own little private theater. You said that you wrote it over years, like
over the past year and a few months, on tour mostly, like in the van.
Like as your private escape?
Yeah, just in my journal. Yeah.
And then how does having that influence making the record itself? That like, how does the music come after that?
From me personally and how I want to grow as a writer or a lyricist or whatever it is, I've realized that I do not necessarily have the space for the lyricism I would like to achieve given the format of the type of music or songs that we write as a band. I can't write like a 3,000 word folk song, you know, when we're essentially like a post-punk band, like doing like 3.5 minute songs.
Yeah, right.
And I think that just having done that, everything that had been pertinent to me over the past year was already written and already there. And so once we started writing the songs as a group, all I had to do is just refer to what was already there, and I had the time to like take whatever was actually in my heart or things that occurred to me naturally as opposed to trying to force them, and just plagiarize myself. And then I could put that and fit those things into like these like, you know, pop structures. And I say pop because it's popular music. And it could still be just as true and authentic and come from an equally sincere place without compromising the integrity of what I was talking about.
Do you see the record having changed the way you think about writing, or the way you think about writing music or lyrics?
The only thing I can quantifiably perceive is my own process. And you were talking about kind of enjoying the idea that you don't know what the end result is going to be once you engage or embark upon something. It's very much that when you're in a band, and specifically in this band. And I think this time around, I stopped having any preconceived notions about what the music was going to sound like. And otherwise, I would say that it's an ongoing, evolving process.
Yeah.
As we talk, and as we play these songs and add flesh to the bone, in a 3D format, you know. And this always happens, but it's the songs are imbued with a soul as you get to play them more, and as you get to understand where they came from more, and as you share and collaborate more, and when people start to engage it, you know, it's not yours anymore. You know, once people hear it, or once people read it, like, they start to assign meanings and give it life, and then it takes on a breath of its own, and then, you know, you always start to understand it much more clearly later down the road, and that's something that I've learned to embrace as well, and it's exciting. And I'm curious to see what this looks like in 6 months' time.
Mm.